corresponding flight over to Nice, and it's a lot of money going down the drain.
VA1 Sydney to Doha was diverted to Bengaluru in India, and VA15 Brisbane to Doha was diverted to Muscat in Oman.
We're expecting to operate our regular schedule today, and then hopefully it's business as usual from there.
At the Qatar Airways check-in desk in Sydney, code shared with Virgin, travellers heading to or transiting through Doha had mixed feelings.
I was pretty anxious. My son-in-law rang us up and told us, there's been a hit on the US base in Qatar. I thought, oh no, we're actually going to Qatar for the stopover.
Extremely worried, extremely worried. Those missiles are just going up like nothing else.
Doesn't worry me at all. If they think it's safe, we think it's safe.
With so much uncertainty in the Middle East, the Australian travel industry is urging travellers to stay informed, but warns against making rash decisions. Cancelling your flight could have a serious impact on any refund or rebooking.
It's really critical that if the airline does cancel, you have access to all of your refund rights in cash. If you cancel, you'll lose a number of those rights because most people book the lowest price ticket, and that entitles you to less rights as a customer.
Even though flights have resumed, there will be a backlog. Eddie Meyer, NBN News.
In breaking news, Israel is claiming that Iran has fired a fresh round of missiles, accusing it of violating the ceasefire. Israel's defence minister has now instructed the IDF to, quote, respond forcefully with intense strikes on regime targets in the heart of Tehran. Thousands of Australians are still stranded in Israel and Iran trying to flee the conflict, while here at home the Albanese government is facing increasing political pressure over its handling of the crisis, with divisions over Australia's role.
Thousands of kilometres from home, thousands of Australians are still trying to flee the Middle East.
And what we hope is that a more secure position, a ceasefire, will ensure that people don't feel the need to get to safety.
According to the Prime Minister, 3,000 Australians are currently attempting to leave Iran, a further 1,000 attempting to flee Israel.
I've seen
for rescue flights, the ceasefire not extending to political attacks here.
He did not come out and decisively back the United States, our key ally. Unfortunately, that only weakens our relationship with the United States.
What my government does is act in an orderly, coherent way, and we were very clear for some period of time.
The Employment Minister questioning if Australia had a role at all.
We are not central to this dispute. We are not a player in this dispute.
It sends a very dangerous message to the world that Australia under this government is passive. It's a failure of a leadership test.
Tomorrow, the opposition leader gives her first major address since taking on the role, promising to outline priorities for the next 3 years. Inside the chamber, newly elected MPs given their first feel of the seats they won last month.
The beating heart of all that I do as the Speaker of the House of Representatives is one word: respect.
In this place, a lesson often lost. Charles Croucher, NBN News.
To other news now, and the New South Wales budget has been handed down with few winners and no sugar hits for household finances. The money the Minns government is spending is going towards housing, but critics say it doesn't go far enough.
Holding babies, shaking hands, textbook moves trying to sell a tight budget. No sweeteners, scrimping and saving the key ingredients in the Treasurer's recipe for a better bottom line.
And New South Wales is back on the path towards surplus.
Lean on spending, but putting some cash into housing as the centrepiece. Today announcing a pre-sale finance guarantee for investors on projects up to $1 billion, hoping to fast-track the delivery of up to 15,000 new homes in the next 5 years.
And what this means is industry can spend less time and resources having to convince their banks that there are buyers of these apartments and more time building them.
That will push down the price that ultimately you pay when you purchase the house.
But it's not the Rose Hill Plan B the Premier promised.
That's a drop in the ocean compared with the 377,000 target that New South Wales has.
Child Protection Services receiving a record boost with a $1.2 billion package to rebuild the system, increasing the foster care allowance for the first time in 20 years by 20% and recruiting 200 new caseworkers.
It is a down payment in the future
of vulnerable young people. The social services sector is experiencing burnout, and funding is not keeping up with the demand from our communities.
Healthcare workers also feel they've been snubbed.
There is little or no funding to grow the health workforce in any meaningful way.
A spike in revenue from drivers through tolls and fines won't be matched with road spending, which has been cut.
That is not the formula we need to see right now, particularly if we're going to wrestle back that horrible road toll.
Tightening the reins now, a tactical move hoping to position the government to deliver more next year, just in time for an election. So
where does all this leave the
$7 billion it started with, and the Treasurer is cautiously optimistic we are now on a path back to black, projecting a potential surplus in the 2027-28 financial year, which would be the first time since the COVID pandemic. But this is far from a sure thing. The increasing cost of natural disasters, geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, and President Trump's tariffs all cast a shadow of uncertainty over this and are well beyond the control of the Treasurer.
Natural disaster funding was the main takeaway for northern New South Wales, along with money for roads and schools. But tonight there are questions about whether the budget delivers enough for regional communities.
A budget focused on need-to-haves, not nice-to-haves, but the Treasurer says it does take regional areas into account.
In last year's budget, you were criticised for not prioritising regional New South Wales. Are you satisfied that you've done that in this year's budget?
We are making big investments in regional New South Wales, whether it be regional communities that are recovering from disasters, whether it's regional communities that are going through times of economic change, whether it's regional communities that are crying out for more investment in their roads, whether it's regional communities who want more investments in their schools and hospitals. This budget delivers.
There's a focus on disaster relief, housing development and education, with $4.2 billion in disaster recovery, joint funded with the federal government, including $2.3 billion for road repairs in affected parts of the Hunter and Northern Rivers, $358 million for last month's floods and $154 million for Cyclone Alfred.
So unashamed about the fact that we're putting much more money into those parts of regional New South Wales so they can rebuild a lot faster.
For housing, there's that $1 billion pre-sale finance guarantee to help fast-track development.
We do expect a lot of them will be in the Hunter because they are some of the projects that are close to being ready to go right now, but are looking for that last final boost so the banks will give the money to get them built. And that's really important for the Hunter, that's really important for regional New South Wales.
There's also $2.1 billion already committed for regional schools and $738.1 million for Indigenous suicide prevention. Much of what was in today's budget for northern New South Wales has already been announced. The Treasurer said this is about reducing debt and delivering on promises.
And this is appalling. We're seeing no new major infrastructure announcements, any money, anything for our entire region. All it is again a bucket of re-announcements of projects that have already been commenced.
Lauren Evans, NBN News.
Lacking and anticlimactic are some of the words being used to describe the state budget in the Hunter. Just one new investment was announced for the region, but Labor MPs argue the right projects have been prioritised.
Signed, sealed and delivered, but what's in the budget for the ever-growing Hunter?
The headline is $1.2 billion in child protection, and as the second largest city in the state, no doubt we'll be getting quite a bit of that money.
The Treasurer's one surprise, $7.5 million for additional parking at Maitland Hospital.
We are actually investing in the infrastructure to ensure that patients and staff can get there safely.
We could the community expectations about being an extension and an expansion on what we already had.
On the roads front, there's continued funding for the M1 extension to Raymond Terrace, the duplication of the Thornton Bridge and $5 million for roundabout upgrades at Spears Point.
But we have had such a significant investment in roads.
There was no funding for a freight hub at Newcastle Airport or a new entertainment precinct at Broadmeadow. However, the region's move to a post-mining future was addressed through $115 million already flagged for a Newcastle logistics precinct and $27.3 million to support the Future Jobs and Investment Authority. Local high schools will share in the government's $2.1 billion regional investment, with Newcastle and Muswellbrook among those slated for an upgrade. Charlestown Fire Station and Singleton Police Station also set for improvements. But while Nationals MP Dave Lazell is pleased with the continuation of some projects, including the Singleton bypass, he says the budget has let regional communities down.
I think this is another very city-focused budget. We haven't really seen any new money put into the Upper Hunter.
Mixed feelings too from business.
Apart from the bit of energy rebate relief, it's business as usual for many of our small businesses across the region and around the state.
Isabella Evans, NBN News.
Police have arrested a teenager 2 days on from a horrific and deadly crash at North Langdon. Isabella Evans joins us from the newsroom. Bella, good evening. What's the latest?
Well, Gav, this arrest came in response to the collision early Sunday morning that claimed a 55-year-old woman's life, while a 28-year-old lost her unborn baby. They were travelling in a Hyundai involved in a crash with a Holden Commodore, which police had tried to stop moments earlier. The two rear passengers of that Holden, girls aged 15 and 17, are still in John Hunter Hospital in serious conditions, while the driver and front passenger allegedly left the scene. This afternoon, officers arrested a 19-year-old man at a home in Mayfield who they believe to be the driver, taking him to Waratah Police Station. No charges have yet been laid. Police have also spoken with a 17-year-old girl believed to be the Holden's front seat passenger as they continue their inquiries. Gav?
Bella, thanks for the update.
Tributes are flowing for Newcastle Greens councillor Sinead Francis-Cohen after the 40-year-old suddenly passed away yesterday following a short illness. Her mother, Lyndall, shared the sad news on social media this morning, saying, "We know that Sinead was loved by many and was active in so many communities."
Headed to Scone Grammar School today to give students a hands-on lesson about road safety. Fire and rescue, ambulance and police officers leading a response to a simulated crash.
4 persons involved, 1 person ejected.
The multi-agency exercise was all about encouraging safer driving among young people. More than 240 students from Scone, Merriwar, Muswellbrook and Aberdeen attended.
People are being encouraged to bring their binoculars to the Hunters Coast this weekend and take part in Orca's annual whale census. The humpback head count is all about research, and the stars seem ready to put on a show.
A once-in-a-lifetime shot captured off Swansea Heads.
By far the best photo I've ever taken.
Photographer Melissa New snapped a rare double humpback whale breach last weekend.
There was a lot of whales out there. It was amazing how many whales were out there. Didn't matter what direction you looked at, they were everywhere.
It's moments like this whale watchers will be hoping to witness this Sunday during Orca's annual census.
All the data captured on the day really helps contribute to a lot of our research projects that are going on.
Now in its 26th year, it's a citizen science initiative designed to track whale migration numbers. Local tourism operators also taking part.
We're counting each and every whale that comes through on the day. We're also looking at the weather conditions. We're also looking at the whales' behaviours.
Humpback migration season began around April and is expected to continue until November.
Those sightings, the frequency and the numbers are as good as it gets right now.
Tourism operators say whale migration numbers are growing by about 10% a year. This season, more than 40,000 humpbacks are expected to pass by the Hunters Coast.
It's a fantastic sign of the humpback whale population and the humpback whale resurgence after whaling finished in the 60s.
On Sunday, locals can set up at their favourite viewing spot or at an official Orca watch point, Boat Harbour at Port Stephens or King Edward Park in Newcastle.
Definitely go out to Redhead Bluff and see how many whales I can see coming across.
Sighting sheets can be found on Orca's website. Olivia Dillon, NBN News.
Well, just about a little bit of everything today. Started out very warm this morning, that warm air getting flushed out before the rain band swept in. Cloud increased, the rain pushed through, then it cleared in the afternoon. By then, we managed to hit the high teens and a couple of 20s were put on the 20s.
Your NBN News still ahead, why YouTube could be added to Australia's social media ban.
And the case of the former maths newlyweds takes another turn.
The Subaru sale is on. Now's the time to get behind the wheel of a Subaru Crosstrek with 5-year roadside assist and a $1,000 factory bonus. It's you in Subaru for a world discovered. See you out there.
We know owning a car these days isn't cheap. At GIO, you can save 10% off your car insurance premium when you quote and buy a new policy online with GIO's online discount. Get a quote today.
Oh yeah, that's the feeling. Progress. Momentum. Getting somewhere. That's what it feels like when you bank with Newcastle Permanent. With local experts and award-winning customer service. We're here for you, and we're here for good.
Niggling knee pain flaring up? Voltaren Pain Relief Gel 12-hourly helps keep you going. With up to 12 hours of targeted pain relief. So you can keep up all race and maybe even catch old mate. Hey, Bill.
The world is changing, and so is AGL. It's why more Australians are changing to solar, batteries, to electric vehicles, and updating to efficient all-electric homes to save on their bills. Discover how you can join the change with AGL.
I like it. With Macca's new $6.95 McSmart meal, you can choose your favourite side.
I like it.
Get a cheeseburger, small fries and soft drink, plus pick a side for just $6.95. Available every day.
At Terry White ChemMart, we're making it easier for you to look after your health. Download our MyTWC app to order scripts, get reminders, and earn rewards for you and your family. Terry White ChemMart, dedicated to care.
With Aware Super's retirement income account, you can stop working and keep earning. Tax-free. With super advice and super returns, Aware Super helps you find your rhythm of retirement. That's super helpful.
Getting injured was tough, but the financial strain was worse. Beyersdorf secured the financial support I needed. It was simple. I just filled out the free case assessment form online. Don't wait. Contact Beyersdorf today for all the help that you need and deserve.
Spend to win at the Levy Central Maitland. Spend $20 or more and you could win a $300 voucher every week. Plus a shot at the grand prize, a major shopping spree worth over $3,000. Spend to win at the Levy Central Maitland.
The nation's top online safety expert says YouTube should be among the social media to be banned for under 16s. But some are defending the platform, arguing it has educational value for young viewers.
Safety online front and centre at the National Press Club.
Any platform that says they're absolutely safe is absolutely spinning words.
YouTube, the Commissioner's new target.
Opaque algorithms driving users down rabbit holes that they are powerless to fight against.
According to research from the E-Safety Commission, almost all children between 10 and 15 years old used at least one social media platform. Around 70% encountered harmful content like misogynistic or hateful material, violent fight videos and content promoting disordered eating. YouTube, the most frequently cited platform.
Better, we've got to do better.
In a statement, the company promoting its educational benefits, YouTube is not a social platform, it's a video streaming platform. YouTube is suitable for younger users. Some critics say age verification on any platform will be almost impossible, but the Commissioner says these big tech companies already know exactly who's on their sites.
They can target all of us with deadly precision when it comes to advertising. They can do the same with age. They just haven't had to until this date.
A maths reunion played out today in a Sydney court. Exes Ryan and Jackie came face to face over dueling restraining orders, relying on legal experts, not relationship ones, to solve a social media fight.
First, there was love. Ryan and Jackie as husband and wife. And then there were lawyers. Former Married at First Sight bride and groom Jackie Burfoot and Ryan Donnelly going from exchanging rings to restraining orders. Ryan alleging social media posts by his ex-TV wife have been damaging.
She continues to post about me almost incessantly, emotionally, and within my circles and everything else I'm affiliated with has been very difficult.
Jackie has already taken out an interim order against Ryan, hitting back online alleging
he's lied not once but twice in his actual application to even get this considered in court. So of course I have opposed it.
the couple's on-screen turmoil hard to forget.
You're a pathological liar, Jackie.
Ryan, just stop it!
Jackie and her new fiancé, another Married at First Sight groom, Clint Rice, documenting their trip to court. Showing off their hired Mercedes G-Wagon, complete with driver and apparent bodyguard.
How do you feel about Ryan these days?
We're hopeful that this matter resolves shortly.
One superfan tagging along for the drama.
The court heard Ryan's lawyer has prepared a 65-page bundle of documents outlining Jackie's alleged harassment, which her legal team is yet to look at. For that reason, the matter was adjourned for a month, Jackie's appearance to be excused. Did you ever think an on-screen marriage would end up here at court?
Probably not, but anyway.
Hayley Francis, NBN News.
Warm conditions today ahead of a rain band. In behind the band, there's another significant burst of cold air. The rain band also triggering some wind warnings for the Tablelands and parts of the Hunter. It is weakening though as it moves into northern New South Wales this evening. The next front is going to move across Victoria, ramping up the snowfall across the Alpine districts. Winds will increase and temperatures are going to drop further. Now we're going to be in between the two fronts, so we have overall a pretty good looking winter's day on the way, clear and cooler for the greater Hunter and mid-north coast, while the northwest will see cloud gather on the western side of the ranges, along with the winds and late showers to develop. Northeastern New South Wales and southeast Queensland get to enjoy another sunny, mild to warm winter's day.
Coming up next, Donald Trump set to attend a crucial NATO summit. Our reporter is live with the latest.
The game-changing cystic fibrosis drug being made accessible to more Australians.
And a historic change at the top of the IOC.
I'm just going for a break.
I want to break free. God knows I want to break free.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Experience the ultimate South American adventure from $9,999 per person, including flights. Explore the Amazon, witness the sunrise at Machu Picchu, to a vibrant Rio de Janeiro and more. Search Trip a Deal now.
I'm Nat from O'Brien. These cracks all started as chips. Happens a lot. We replace thousands of windscreens, but a chip repair is faster, cheaper and greener. And with car insurance, your repair is usually free. Book today.
Ladies, it's time to ditch the wipes and make the switch.
To Garnier Micellar Water.
Removes makeup in just one swipe. Gently cleanses and leaves my skin hydrated.
We love it. 95% of micellar removes makeup better than wipes. By Garnier, naturally.
Day 359, run out of coffee beans. Better run to the shop. Wish me luck.
Look at here, look at what he got. That's what we got it good.
Kia, find me another route.
Please proceed.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Oh yeah, that's the feeling. Progress. Momentum. Getting somewhere. That's what it feels like when you bank with Newcastle Permanent. With local experts and award-winning customer service. We're here for you, and we're here for good.
brace yourselves. London's longest-running comedy, The Play That Goes Wrong, is crashing into the Civic Theatre Newcastle from August 19th till the 31st. Book your tickets now at playgoeswrong.com.
Electrodry's new state-of-the-art rug cleaning facility utilises 4 machines to deep clean and bath your rug with tailored processes for delicate and natural fibres. You can pick up and drop off yourself or hand deliver. Make your rug feel like new.
Electrodry.
Get dirty. Get salty. Get adventurous. Get to O'Neill's Tyre and Auto Care for the legendary open country range from Toyo Tyres and go where others simply can't. Because if you've got wheels, you need O'Neill's.
This year's NATO summit is about to begin in the Netherlands amid a backdrop of global uncertainty. Europe correspondent Jessica Millwood joins us live from The Hague. Jess, the White House has confirmed Donald Trump will be there.
Gavin has, but it's unclear whether or not these breaking developments in the Middle East and the possible ceasefire violation will change that. But the president is due to leave Washington, bound here for The Hague in 2 hours' time. Donald Trump likely to be in a self-congratulatory mood, not just because of the supposed Israel-Iran ceasefire, but also because the NATO alliance has agreed to increase defence spending, as something Donald Trump has been demanding for quite some time. And as the Trump show rolls into town here, President Zelensky will also be here pushing to keep the Ukraine conflict front of mind. Ukraine's president meets the king at Windsor Castle as residents in his country's capital reel from yet another deadly attack, at least 10 killed by Russian missiles and drones. The wartime leader sharing a handshake.
Thank you so much.
And lunch with King Charles before seeing Prime Minister Starmer and British troops who train Ukrainian soldiers.
Thank you, dear Prime Minister, dear Keir. Thank you for invitation.
The UK meetings taking place on the eve of what is set to be an historic NATO summit. The war in Ukraine certain to be a focus. The Middle East conflict undoubtedly going to be discussed. The alliance of countries giving in to pressure from Donald Trump, poised to sign off on an increase in defence spending.
The new defence investment plan is the key deliverable for this summit and will be decisive when it comes to ensuring effective deterrence in defence.
Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles will fly the flag for Australia at the summit, taking place against a backdrop of extreme global volatility.
What I think we all have in common is a maintenance of the rules-based order at a time when the rules-based order is under pressure.
At The Hague, Jessica Millwood, NBN News.
Bipartisan members of the US Congress have written to the country's Defence Secretary in support of AUKUS. It comes amid America's review of the security deal. The group says it's overwhelmingly in the best interest of all 3 nations.
285 people have been arrested and half a tonne of narcotics seized during a major drug trafficking crackdown in Indonesia. An Australian is among those arrested, with local police parading the suspects alongside the confiscated drugs. The group could face the death penalty if convicted.
The leader of the International Olympic Committee has passed the baton to the organisation's first female president. Kirsty Coventry, a 2-time gold medal winning swimmer from Zimbabwe, replaces Thomas Bach and will lead the IOC for the next 8 years, including at the 2032 Olympic Games in Brisbane. After 5 years, Virgin Australia returned to the Australian Stock Exchange today. The much-anticipated initial public offering valuing the airline at $2.3 billion. Its shares went from $2.90 to $3.23. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's declaration of a Middle East ceasefire had an immediate impact on the market. Here's finance editor Chris Kohler.
Oil tumbled and share markets rebounded. That was the initial reaction to the US president saying the conflict between Israel and Iran is effectively over. The price of oil had topped $81 a barrel, but today slipped all the way back to 69, so back to where it was before June 12. Investors felt much calmer, with the ASX rallying almost 1%. No shelter for big oil companies, though. Woodside giving back all its recent gains as the price of the commodity fell away. Tesla was the standout overseas, jumping 8% on news its robo-taxi launch went well, and the Australian dollar also rallied. It's buying 65 US cents, 56 euro cents and 48 British pence.
A major barrier has been removed for a drug that can dramatically increase the life expectancy of those with cystic fibrosis. The treatment, which can cost patients $250,000 a year, is now far more accessible.
Motivation has never been an issue for former Wallaby Nathan Charles. At 36 years old, he's the only one in the world to have played a contact sport at elite level with cystic fibrosis.
And this is not the last time you'll see of me trying to break new records, trying to break down those walls.
Soon to be powered, he says, by the increased availability of game-changing drug, Trikafta. Until now, an expensive treatment the athlete had only been able to access as part of a 2-week trial.
My lung function increased by 13%. I got out of bed with a spring in my step.
This drug is a wonder drug.
From next week, the federal government is expanding Trikafta's PBS listing to include all patients with treatment-receptive cystic fibrosis mutations. That means it'll be almost universally available.
Without a PBS listing, this will cost patients around $250,000 a year on the private market.
Now, Australian patients will pay a maximum of $31.60 per script or just $7.70 with a concession.
Australia is now a global leader in equity of access for cystic fibrosis care.
The drug's been shown to lift median life expectancy from 47 to 60 years old, even longer if treatment starts young.
I know what this is going to do for my life, and I only hope that what I've been able to achieve in my life so far is overcome and overshadowed by people coming through knowing that they can achieve anything they set out to achieve in life.
Ruth Wynne-Williams, NBN News.
Adam Murray joins us now with sport.
Adam, an NRL blockbuster is looming on Thursday.
It sure is. Good evening, guys. And for the big games, you want the big names. And Nathan Cleary is as big as it gets. So will the injured Panther be ready to battle the top-of-the-table Bulldogs? We hear from Dad Ivan next. Plus, Jackson Hastings named to play his second game for the Knights this season. And a blow for Australia's new tennis star, a week out from Wimbledon.
Oh yeah, it feels good to make progress. With Newcastle Permanent's great low rates and up to $3,000 cash back when you apply for your home loan online, we're here to help you move forward. And we're here for good.
This could be the only ad you see today that is actually good for your health. And not just because there's an offer at the end of it. This is like a massage for your brain. No clickbait, no annoying jingles. Just health insurance from a healthier place and up to $600 in e-gift cards when you join. T's and C's apply.
Adventure's calling. Gear up for the great outdoors with big savings, like 30% off puffer jackets by these top brands. Explore more club-exclusive deals so you can play more and pay less at Anaconda.
At Terry White ChemMart, we're dedicated to keeping busy people moving.
Okay, are we ready?
Book your flu vaccination today.
Oh, it doesn't even hurt me.
Terry White ChemMart, dedicated to care.
You haven't shopped around until you've tried Yui. Huh?
Yeah, you should shop around if you're not happy with your car insurance. Or your barber.
For award-winning customer satisfaction, make the change to Yui. You insured.
Rip into winter with Stihl, with selected homeowner favourites from only $349. And our legendary MS500i, save a massive $450. Only from Stihl dealers and Stihl Shop online.
The Nick Scali half-yearly clearance has been extended, with everything reduced across the entire range. Everything is reduced during the half-yearly clearance. Extended till Sunday at Nick Scali.
Dreaming of your next getaway? Earn a guaranteed share of 10 million Qantas points. Switch your home or business to a Qantas Red plan today so you can switch off on your next holiday sooner.
This is what pre-flight mornings look like around here. Doing the coffee run, not the M1. Finding yourself the perfect park. So go on, Take your pick from over 250 flights a week from Newcastle Airport. Ah, that's the Newey way.
When my dad died, I was left practically nothing. I was so hurt and confused. So I spoke to Beyersdorf. They've seen it all before. Beyersdorf sorted it out. Thanks, Beyersdorf.
Get it sorted. Call Beyersdorf Lawyers.
Join the adventures of your favourite Disney stars from Frozen, Moana, The Little Mermaid, and for the first time, Encanto. Disney on Ice returns to the Newcastle Entertainment Centre from July 3rd. Book now at Ticketek.
It's Nathan Cleary's one and only chance to put his troublesome groin to the test before the Blues head into camp for the Origin decider. The Panthers halfback today named for Thursday's blockbuster against the Bulldogs, but his dad and coach Ivan admits the game's best player is no certainty.
Wearing his most comfortable and fashionable woolly slippers, the Prince of Penrith gave us a royal wave. His coach is hopeful he'll be ready to take on the Dogs.
Yeah, he's just going to have to keep ticking the boxes. And we're very hopeful. We don't know yet, for sure.
Cleary injured his groin goal kicking at the Blues captain's run and didn't take part in that session. Now the whole state is sweating on his fitness.
Are you confident he'll be able to play in Origin 3?
Oh, this time, yeah, for sure. There's not really much uncertainty around the injury, what it is, just a functional thing, and he'll be the best judge of that, but we'll see.
The media at Optus Stadium was sure that visualisation was a sign he was injured, but it's something he's been doing to prevent injuries.
Yeah, definitely the old Nat would have kicked until his shoe came off, but he's learnt and he's experienced now, and the visualisations actually helps him. So it's probably always a bit of a challenge, because he loves kicking the footy.
Someone the Panthers won't have this week is Scott Sorensen. Ivan can't understand his 2-game ban, nor can he comprehend why suddenly has given itself the power to punish incidents the match review committee misses.
Which is a little disturbing. I think that's probably the main issue. Do we have confidence in the MRC? And if we don't, then we probably should fix that up rather than trying to come up with we'll step in if we don't think it's right. So, yeah, some work to be done.
The Dogs have been working hard to reach the standards set by the 4-time premiers. They've got a strong Panthers flavour in their team.
Is it a compliment to the Bulldogs or an insult that you guys are often refer to as a mini Penrith?
Yeah, I don't know. I could say it's a compliment. We have got a lot of ex-Penrith players here who won premierships. I think we've kind of carved out our own path. A lot of people like to say that we're ex-Penrith, but we're wearing blue and white jersey now.
Danny Weidler, NBN News.
Night star Fletcher Sharp remains in a Perth hospital with family by his side after undergoing surgery to repair a lacerated kidney and treatment for a ruptured spleen. The 21-year-old suffered the injuries in Newcastle's win over the Dolphins last weekend. Jackson Hastings has been named at 5'8" for Friday's clash against the Raiders, but Tyson Gamble remains an option on an extended bench. Jacob Saifidi will make his long-awaited return from a calf injury, while Canberra has opted to rest Hudson Young, who's managing an ongoing groin complaint. League bosses have made a quick trip to Port Moresby to reveal the inaugural board for the Papua New Guinea NRL team, which will enter the competition in 2028. It'll be chaired by former Bulldogs boss Ray Dibb. PNG's Prime Minister also revealing a fan vote will decide the name of the 19th franchise. Sitting just 2 wins outside the AFL's top 8, the Swans say there's no reason why they can't make the finals. Now they're almost back at full strength. Friday night's clash against the Western Bulldogs will see a milestone for Chad Warner. It's his 100th game. Josh Inglis doesn't know whether he'll bat at 3, 4 or 5 for Australia in the first test against the West Indies tomorrow night, but he's comfortable to slot in anywhere he's needed.
I've obviously batted at the top in white ball cricket and in the middle, so sort of become accustomed to moving around a fair bit, and it's something I sort of pride myself on.
Inglis has confirmed he will take Steve Smith's place in the slip cordon between Cameron Green and Bo Webster. Australia's #1 female tennis player, Daria Kasatkina, will arrive at Wimbledon without a grass court win under her belt after a shock loss at the Eastbourne Open. Kazakhina was the defending champion, but was stunned in 3 sets by Kiwi Lulu Sun in the opening round for her 3rd consecutive defeat on grass. Australia's Maya Stewart Joint is into the round of 16 after beating 3-time Grand Slam finalist Ons Jabeur in straight sets. After the break, Alex Chidiac ready to seize her opportunity with the Matildas.
Bills piling up for hard-working Australians when they could be comparing and saving. A warning, this footage contains financial decisions some may find disturbing.
Mrs. Lee, you haven't compared insurance or energy bills for years.
I'm flat out with this lot.
You can't...
I like your hair.
Thank you. You can't get help, you know. Look.
That's a wake-up call.
It pays to compare.
Simples.
Adventure's calling. Gear up for the great outdoors with big savings like $59.99 adult snow jackets and pants and $49.99 kids snow jackets and pants by 37 degrees south. Explore more exclusive deals so you can play more and pay less at Anaconda.
With every beanie, you're helping fund research, support families, and bring us closer to a cure for brain cancer. Wear hope, share hope. Together, we have the power to beat brain cancer.
I still can't believe you switched to a new one.
I know. I thought it would make things go further.
Compare the retirements. When Lynn and Judy retired 5 years ago, they both took a regular income from their super. Judy didn't stick with her industry super fund. Lynn did. Will your money go further? Compare your retirement today.
Yes, a buttery spread melt upon my crumpety head.
Please, jam and cream cheese.
Fresh strawberry. Make every bite golden.
Running a small business can be a real pressure cooker, but it doesn't have to be. Stay cool with Westpac Small Business Solutions and keep your cash flow flowing.
Go Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance. Up to 25% off family-friendly carpet. Great range to choose from. Up to 25% off flooring, from versatile hybrids to natural timber. Plus up to 50% off our range of rugs. Best prices guaranteed at Harvey Norman now. Go. Go Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance. 25% off Timberline Australian-made bathroom furniture. A further 10% off when you spend $1,000 or more on Caroma. A further 10% off when you spend $1,000 or more on Mir. At Harvey Norman now.
Go. This report brought to you by Cox Mowers. Cox, proudly engineered Aussie tough for over 70 years.
After making her Matilda's debut as a 16-year-old nearly a decade ago, midfielder Alex Chidiac is hoping to finally cement herself in the side under new coach Joe Montemiro.
Every time I get an opportunity, I try and take it. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but I'm just looking forward to learning under Joe for these next 4 games and seeing what he can do with the team.
The big surprise today was injured skipper Sam Kerr rejoining the team in Perth. She'll continue her long rehab for an ACL injury with Football Australia's medical team. Yasmin Clydesdale will lead the Knights NRLW side into its new era, named Newcastle's captain for the upcoming season. The 31-year-old overwhelmed with pride and emotion when she heard the news. It's the club's famous motto set by Alan McMahon, be the player others want to play with, and it's what Yasmin Clydesdale epitomises.
Our captain for 2025 is Yasmin Clydesdale.
The captaincy now among her proudest achievements.
It is really high. Like, I would almost put this number one, to be able to captain a team full of so much talent and opportunities that are going to come from this. I'm really excited. This is my hometown, my community I grew up in, so to be able to represent and captain it is something unbelievable, something I didn't think it would happen. The representative star and two-time premiership winner, a perfect fit for the role after a wealth of experience left the club at the end of last year. Have you captained a side before? No. So I don't know how I'm going to go with the tosses. This is all brand new to me, but I'm very lucky that the girls all support me. Already known for leading through her actions on the field, Clydesdale's time as a school teacher will no doubt help her guide the Knights' new guard. My sort of way that I lead is through communication. So, yeah, being able to connect and communicate with the girls is something that I really pride myself on. Newcastle kicks off its campaign against NRLW newcomers the Bulldogs in Sydney on July 4. Coach Ben Jeffries confirming at today's season launch, Jules Kirkpatrick will make her debut. Greater Branxton will look to bounce back when round 9 of the Group 21 competition kicks off on Saturday. The Colts suffered their first loss of the season last weekend, beaten by Singleton. Denman recorded its second win in a row, while Scone smashed Aberdeen. The Wallabies will arrive in Newcastle later this week to prepare for their test against Fiji at McDonald Jones Stadium, their last before the British and Irish Lions tour. Joe Schmidt's men will immerse themselves in the Hunter and even attend the Wildfires clash with the Two Blues. The Lions have arrived down under, landing in Perth last night, while the Wallabies will leave Sydney for Newcastle on Thursday. One of the first things on their agenda, a stop at number 2 Sports Ground this weekend.
We'll have them put to work. They're in the canteen, they're selling raffle tickets, they'll do some promotions with the kids, and in my time in rugby, I don't think I've ever been at a promo where the whole squad's at it.
The Wildfires will be out to impress in front of the national side and what's expected to be a bumper home crowd for Saturday's Shute Shield clash against the Two Blues. The Hunter having dodged a third straight loss last weekend.
Half-time against Randwick was a real turning point in our season. Coming off 2 losses, we'd put 3 poor halves together, that had made 4. If we didn't really turn that around against Randwick in that second half, it would have been a different vibe come Monday.
Third on the ladder after 11 rounds, a home semi-final is within reach.
We know we've got a good home ground advantage up here, so we want to hang on to that. But yeah, there's still 7 games to go, so there's a lot of footy to be played.
As well as teaming up with the Wallabies for the Test match against Fiji on July 6, the Wildfires will have an opposed session with the visitors early next week.
Mick Byrne is an Aussie who coaches him. We've got a good relationship with him. They're actually using our training centre out at the University of Newcastle, which is great. They use the gym and the fields there, and that's a good alignment. That said, we are very much firmly in the Wallabies camp.
The Wildfires are doing some excellent work at the moment.
They sure are. Thank you, Adam.
All right, thanks, Adam. Well, a little bit of everything today, and the cold is getting ready to move back in. Details after the break.
They promised to help, but the NDIS has broken that promise.
Just can't afford to keep their doors open.
A current affair next.
I like it. With Macca's new $6.95 McSmart meal, you can choose your favourite side. I like it. Get a cheeseburger, small fries and soft drink, plus pick a side for just $6.95. Available every day.
I'm Nat from O'Brien. These cracks all started as chips. Happens a lot. We replace thousands of windscreens, but a chip repair is faster, cheaper and greener. And with car insurance, your repair is usually free. Book today.
This is how the other half lives. A $13.7 million A-list lifestyle. Your chance at next level luxury in Byron Bay. Dream Home Art Union Draw 427 is more than a prize home. With $1.75 million in gold included, it's freedom to live life on your terms. Dream bigger with your $5 ticket today.
This is Australia. This is Australia.
Colorbond, made by Australia.
The Nick Scali half-yearly clearance has been extended, with everything reduced across the entire range. Everything is reduced during the half-yearly clearance. Extended till Sunday at Nick Scali.
The Musso run-out sale is on now. Save up to 4K on an MY24 Musso. From only 38K, get the 2025 Drive Car of the Year, best dual cab ute under 50K. KGM Ssangyong, Korean built to last.
It's big, it's bouncy, it's the Monster Jump, Australia's newest inflatable obstacle course. Jump, slide, bounce into the best family fun for kids, parents and parties. So hop online and book today at monsterjump.com.au and don't miss out.
Electrodry's new state-of-the-art rug cleaning facility utilises 4 machines to deep clean and bath your rug with tailored processes for delicate and natural fibres. You can pick up a drop-off yourself or hand deliver. Make your rug feel like new.
Electrodry.
Go Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance. Save $300 on EcoVax robotic vacuum and mop. Save over $200 on the Sonos Arc ultrasound bar. Save over $200 on LG French door fridge, now $1,688. Best prices guaranteed at Harvey Norman now.
When it comes to buying a home, make it yours sooner with the Mutual Bank's award-winning budget home loan. Make it yours for less. Low rate, low fees. You can apply online right here and now. Make it yours with the Mutual Bank.
A help company would get people back on their feet, make complicated stuff simple, and even try to predict the unpredictable. So that's what we're doing. At RMA Insurance, a help company.
That burst of warm air this morning ahead of the rain ban was lovely. That's as warm as what it'll be for some time, with another burst of cold air getting ready to move in. This is where the rain tumbled down up until 9 o'clock this morning, and then that ban continued on its way, moving into northern New South Wales, and there it is deteriorating. This is the cold air now sweeping in across Victoria and the Alpine districts. This is fantastic news for skiers. They're actually going to love this. It's very nice. It's a beautiful base, just about the perfect base for this time of the year, and a lovely top up. There could be half a metre of snow again in this, and you can see once this front passes over us, it's going to get much colder. It's going to be windy tomorrow, very, very windy as we move towards the lunchtime hours, and then we've got the cold. And then once this low moves out into the Tasman, right along the coast, you're going to have the southerly winds, and the showers are going to return. That big high dominating the country, though. Look how cold it is right throughout the southeast. 8, 10, 11, 15 degrees right throughout the southeast. Sydney relatively fine throughout tomorrow, 18. Still fairly mild ahead of it. Morning showers clearing for Brisbane, cooler for the Alice. A couple of showers possible throughout the far north, but otherwise the remainder of the country is generally dry and fine. There's that rain band as it passed through during today. It arrived throughout the upper Hunter, so therefore temperatures maxed out into the high teens, but we had the low 20s right along the coast, even 22 for Gosford today. The westerly winds really picking up speed throughout tomorrow. It's going to get very, very windy. It's going to be a short, sharp burst of winds there, then beginning to settle back down, but the westerlies will dominate. Largely blue skies because we're in between these weather systems. There's the cloud coming in late in the day, in the afternoon, evening around the upper Hunter and the mountain areas yet again, and there may be some snow flurries across the higher peaks of the northern ranges, including the tops. So we're maxing out at about 17, 18. Wind chill factor, though, so a little bit different throughout tomorrow. It's a fairly dry air mass, so it's going to be feeling colder than this. So topping out at 17, but probably feeling like more so 12, 13, 14 degrees tomorrow. So it is going to be another fresh winter's day for us, but we've got the sunshine. There's swell out there, but look, those westerlies are going to hold it offshore, really wanting to flatten it out. Gale force wind warnings have been issued for tomorrow. Sun to rise 6:55, down at 4:56. Tomorrow high tide just after 8, and then back to the low in the afternoon at about 1:30. Offshore 2 metres of swell, but very little, if anything, getting in. Very cold now for the rest of the week. There's the wind switching around to the south and the showers moving in, and you can see we've got some decent rain accumulations along the coast. Not much making it inland though, just a lot colder as we move through the remainder of the week, and the coastal showers also hitting the central coast from Friday. Checking the surf, well, here it is, fairly small conditions. As I said, we've got a lot of swell bypassing us really tomorrow. The westerly is just too strong, holding it out, pushing it down, but the swell is going to really ramp up as we move into the later part of the week. So more changeable conditions for the region.
Thank you, Gav. That's our bulletin for this Tuesday. A current affair is next.
So thanks for your company.
Good night.
Good night.
Hello, I'm Ali Langdon. Welcome to A Current Affair. Support kids who need it or pay the people who help them. It's the impossible choice healthcare providers are being forced to make as they face brutal cuts to the NDIS. Their incomes will soon take a hit, but it's our most vulnerable who will really pay the price.
We're getting phone calls from parents worried about whether their supports are going to end.
Tens of thousands of professionals across the scheme are going to have to walk away from servicing hundreds of thousands of participants.
Little kids like Eli, big ones like Kai. It doesn't matter who you are or where you live. If you see a physio on the NDIS, you might not be in a week's time.
Physiotherapists aren't going to have the capacity to see these people because they just can't afford to keep their doors open.
It's not financially sustainable.
A little bit like a call to arms, allied health professionals have rallied in the face of a pay cut. They say won't just hurt them and their patients, but us all.
If physiotherapists can't see them as part of NDIA, they're going to have to go to hospital. They're going to turn up to ED with a lot of significant health problems.
Be more pressure on the education system, more pressure on the health system.
Physiotherapist and director at Treehouse Paediatrics, Ashley Lance, says if she can't afford to see patients on the NDIS, who will?
We've committed to continuing to see and support the kids that we're already seeing, but we will be absorbing the cost and we'll be taking a loss. And I don't know how long that will be financially viable for us to do, but we don't want to. What do we say? What do we say to them?
The National Disability Insurance Scheme, or NDIS, is what funds and supports people with a disability, while the agency, the NDIA, manages the allocation of that funding. And its providers like Ashley, the NDIA is cracking down on, tightening the purse strings in its latest price review.
I need to pay my staff. That's what the choice is. Keep supporting the kids in rural areas, pay your staff.
NDIS-funded physiotherapists say they haven't had a pay rise in 6 years, and now what they are paid is set to be slashed. Come July 1, physio's hourly rate will be cut by $10 and their travel allowance to see patients halved.
We're driving on country roads, we're using fleet cars, but if we weren't doing that, then these kids in rural areas wouldn't be seen by anybody.
Ashley is based in Bendigo, a 2-hour drive from Melbourne. She employs 21 staff. Many drive to see patients in Donald, Swan Hill, Castlemaine, Shepparton, Charlton and Maryborough. Patients like little Eli. Eli's had weekly physio for much of his life, and Mum Tegan quickly learned it had to be at home.
Eli ends up shutting down and going off to sleep, and we just don't get the stuff that we need out of that session, whereas when we have Ash come out home, he engages more and he gets a full session in.
But with the July 1 changes looming, driving to see a patient like Eli with all the overheads will cost Ashley's business too much.
We will run at a loss.
And it's heartbreaking for patients who've seen great growth outside four walls. Kai Lidgett lives with cerebral palsy. Because of regular physiotherapy, Kai can swim 10 metres on his own and get himself up out of bed unaided. And none of it would have been possible working in the confines of a clinic room.
I know if I hadn't been able to see my physio, I would be a lot less mobile and a lot less independent. For someone who doesn't have that, it's got to be really tough.
And the NDIS knows this approach works. In its own practice standards, it recommends providers see patients in their natural environments, like at home.
They're saying you need to meet these practice guidelines by seeing kids in the natural environments, but we're going to pay you nothing to do that.
Physiotherapist of 11 years, David Dinker, manages a large team of NDIS therapists. He hasn't taken a wage for himself in years.
This perception that we are raking it in and we are rorting the system and the taxpayer, it's not the case at all.
He says the NDIA has given providers just 20 days to figure out how and if they can survive under the new price guide.
Most people have done their financial planning, their budgeting for next year.
David's launched a web page to help unite the sector, while the Australian Physiotherapy Association started a petition to see the cuts reviewed and reversed.
Investing in physio in the short term is going to save the system money in the long term.
Association President Rick Dawson.
There was no indication from the government that they were prepared to cut our rates.
In a statement, the NDIA told A Current Affair,
these changes ensure NDIS participants funded by Australian taxpayers are not paying significantly higher rates for some services than those outside of the NDIS. It's not fair or acceptable that NDIS participants pay higher prices for supports. In some cases, NDIS price limits were higher than non-NDIS prices by up to 68%.
But Rick Dawson says that number is flawed and based off Medicare data.
We believe that the NDIA doesn't really understand the complexity of NDIS, and we think that the NDIA should really spend some more time understanding the care needs of these people.
We see every milestone, we support every difficult part of their lives.
Yeah, and those milestones are so important, and this is the problem with reining in costs while still providing such vital care. Well, Amatil is one tough cookie. As a toddler, she survived a crash that claimed her mum's life. At every turn, she has defied expectations and done so with a smile on her face. But her injuries mean she needs a little extra help in class. Problem is, her school isn't playing along.
She deserves dignity and respect, and for her injuries to be taken seriously.
Since the very start of Amatil's life, she's been a fighter.
That's when you had your open heart surgery, where they had to cut your chest open.
At 2 years old, Amatil and her big brother somehow survived a horror head-on crash that killed her mum.
You know, the doctors said that you might not be able to walk one day. But here you are.
But I'm running and jumping.
You're running.
Yeah.
Her grandmother, Sharon, took the kids in.
Oh, devastating. You know, being told that your daughter's passed away.
Devoting herself to give them the best life she possibly can.
It makes me bad sending her to school when they're treating her like that.
And how good's Granny? She takes care of you all the time, doesn't she?
Amazing parent. The bestest parent I've ever had in my life.
Amatil's been through more than most kids, but always has a smile on her face.
When the car accident happened in 2019, they told us she would never ever have use of her bladder and bowel.
She's defied doctors despite damaging her brain and spinal cord in the fatal crash.
But after constant physio for the last 6 years, she's able to go to the toilet.
Amatil attends Raceview State School west of Brisbane and loves it there. Trouble is, that's where she struggles.
Because she can't get to the toilet quick enough to go to the bathroom. So she wears continence aids, but when she's at home, she wears undies all day and not wet. The school changes her twice a day, that's it.
What's been happening at school?
The teachers won't let me go when I need to.
They won't let you go?
Yeah, like I have to call a teacher aide, and then I probably would have already gone.
To the toilet?
Yeah.
During class, Amatil's not allowed to go to the toilet with another student like the other kids.
We have a disability toilet, but I can't even get into myself.
Really?
Yeah.
She has to wait for not one but 2 teacher aides to become available to take her, and by then it's often too late.
They've rang me up and said they've run out of clothes. She needs more clothes, she needs more pull-ups. It's not right that she has to sit in her own waste.
Amatil's also not allowed to go to the Oval at lunch without a teacher, which aren't always available. That means she has to go to the special needs hub.
It makes me lose friends and it makes me sad.
Amatil currently receives help at home from the National Injury Insurance Scheme, and Sharon's come up with a solution to help the school.
Amatil gets a support worker 7 o'clock in the morning and 2:30 in the afternoon for 2 hours each time. I've said I would forfeit that so that support worker can go to the school, and the school says they don't have external people come in and keeps telling me no.
I feel sad and upset because then the carer could help me go to the toilet and everything.
I was shocked and just really confused by the school's lack of support.
Madeline Ratley from Shine Lawyers was acting on behalf of Amatil and her brother over the 2019 crash when she found out about the situation at Amatil's school and took up that fight too.
It was just so clear that it was wrong, that the funding is available and there is no reason for it to not be put in place.
And that was in 2022.
Yes.
You asked if a carer could join Amatil at school. We've got an email trail here.
Yes, this is still dealing with the same issues.
Hey, please, could I have a carer? I really need one.
She's 9 this year. Other kids will start noticing. Other kids are going to start to tease her. You know, when she becomes a teenager, what happens there? If I don't stand up now and be a voice for her.
She's one special little girl, isn't she? And since we got involved, Raceview State School is happy for Amatil's carer to come to school with her each day, saying it welcomes the additional support if it's available. So let's hope that's the end of it. She's been through more than enough. It was the desperate call in the middle of a flood disaster. How to get life-saving medication to a couple cut off by the raging waters. With no helicopter available and conditions too dangerous for a boat, emergency crews called in their newest recruit.
That's where we thought, we've trained for this, we know this is something that we were planning to do, that we would need to do one day, so let's use a drone.
Yeah, there was a lot of adrenaline running, a lot of plans that sort of had to come together quite quickly to make a go or no-go decision.
Isolated and surrounded by floodwater and in desperate need of medical supplies.
Well, we had a call come in for an urgent medical resupply. There were 2 patients who were cut off by floodwaters who needed leukaemia medication.
Last month on the mid-north coast of New South Wales, with no choppers available and conditions too bad for a boat, the SES called in its latest recruit, a high-tech drone, and Gabe Mihalis was behind the controls.
Definitely gives you a buffer of safety where people don't actually have to put themselves on the line as much.
For the first time in Australian history, the drone was used to get vital medication across the swollen river. Packaged up and hanging below the drone, Gabe used infrared cameras to guide the precious parcel to a nurse isolated on the other side.
What was it like when you made that drop from the drone?
I think the first package, when I dropped it, I definitely felt a sense of relief that the first mission that we'd made a plan.
Safely delivered to the patients stranded by floodwaters.
And being able to see them actually pick it up and go back to their vehicle was definitely a heartwarming moment, but also, just relief that it was, definitely coming off as planned and that we were going to then carry out the second one exactly the same way.
The first delivery of its kind in an emergency, but it sure won't be the last. Chief Remote Pilot for the SES, Ewan McKenzie.
The innovation potential, especially in this remotely piloted aircraft space, is endless. It sits on the bottom there, it's got 2 releases.
The SES has been running a 12-month trial using remote aircraft in emergencies.
They have remarkable capability. They can carry loads, they have thermal imagery, they have night vision, and the type of things that we can do complementary to the rescue effort are just making things faster, more effective, but most importantly, safer.
Once we're taking off in the air, we want to keep an eye on our battery.
Now they're training up the latest fleet of pilots with hopes of having more than 40 skilled operators to call on. Today, these volunteers are learning the next steps.
Max altitude, we'll go to the 110.
There was so many people within our membership who already had a lot of experience with drones.
What's so impressive is how stable it is.
Richard Farr has been an SES volunteer for 6 years. He already had his drone licence thanks to his videography business.
So this is perfect. When they put a call out with SES saying we are about to start doing some tests and trials with drones for search and rescue, I thought, what a great fit.
Richard heads up the Bush Search and Rescue Brigade in his area and believes the new technology will be wildly useful.
So we can fly over an area and call out. So for search and rescue, for instance, in a bush area, we could fly a drone over and say, if you can hear us, do this, do that.
It's very cool.
It's very cool. Yes.
Checking your batteries.
Battery, yeah.
Teacher Deanne Young is also taking part in the training after seeing how well the technology worked in the floods.
It was absolutely brilliant, because it was so quick to do, and the things like helicopters and boats, they take a while to launch. So being able to set up the drone in a much quicker time frame and get it across was excellent.
And then
the SES currently has 8 of the high-tech drones, with hopes of adding more to the fleet as those trained to use them expands.
It's definitely going to assist us more in being able to save lives, make a difference in people's lives, probably in their worst hour sometimes, and I think that's definitely something that I'm very happy to be a part of. If I was in the same position, I would like to think that there will be people out there that are willing to help in their own way, and I think that's what Australian Mateship's all about.
How incredible is that? And you know what? Maybe robots aren't so bad. Coming up, how long does it take to replace a rickety old carport? If you ask Lynn's local council, 3 years and counting.
I mean, there must have been about 30 different regulations just on the building permit.
They're a human phenomenon that have fascinated the world.
We've been twins for 27 years. It's pretty much forever. Since birth.
Now, the search for Australia's most identical twins.
Our parents couldn't tell us apart.
Over 2 groundbreaking nights.
Would you rather men or women?
I think we're going to be different on this.
106 of Aussie twins put to the test. Scott Cam and Dr. Jana Pittman answer the question.
Which of these twins are Australia's most identical?
We generally don't answer questions without a lawyer present.
Next on 9.
Hungry Jack's fried chicken. It's different. New spicy chicken ribs. Juicy bone-in chicken. Fried to crispy perfection. Go on, get into them. Spicy chicken ribs. Pure at Hungry Jack's.
I've got something I want to tell you. Yeah, I'm pregnant.
Meet the new Volvo EX90 for life. Volvo.
However you warm up, NG has got a hot energy deal for you. Get 28% off our gas supply and usage charges when you switch your gas to NG Saver. Great value and staying cosy this winter? With NG, it's possible.
At Terry White Chemmart, we've been looking after families for generations. Today, our dedication to care is still the same. The way it's delivered is better than ever.
Rocky loves ice cream, almost as much as Rocky's owner loves saving. With his Westpac home loan package, he saved over $9,000 in interest in the first year alone. Rocky's owner is thinking that could come in handy. Rocky's thinking that could buy a lot of ice cream. Westpac home loan packages. Sweet savings.
When a cold disturbs your family's sleep, Vicks Vapor Rub relieves cough, nasal congestion, headaches and muscle aches. They sleep, you sleep. Vicks Vapor Rub. And try the new Vicks Lavender range.
MG's end of financial year finance deals are here. Drive away in the MG HS Family SUV with a 0.99% per annum comparison rate on a 3-year term with no balloon and no deposit. Enjoy class-defining tech, space and safety in the SUV that'll turn heads wherever you go. All with Australia's industry-leading 10-year warranty. For this and other finance deals, see your MG dealership today. Must end June 30.
The Nick Scully half-yearly clearance has been extended, with everything reduced across the entire range. Everything is reduced during the half-yearly clearance. Scully.
At Aware Super, we love to perform. No, not like that. We offer strong long-term returns performance, like 8% per annum over 10 years. With super advice and super returns, Aware Super is super helpful.
Brace yourselves. London's longest-running comedy, The Play That Goes Wrong, is crashing into the Civic Theatre Newcastle from August 19th till the 31st. Celebrating 10 hilarious years and described by the New York Times as a gut-busting hit, this is a comedy for the ages. All ages. Book your tickets now at playgoeswrong.com. What could possibly go wrong?
When Lynn's carport became dangerous, it seemed such an easy fix. So what could be tricky about that? When it involves council, plenty.
I mean, it's not the Taj Mahal, it's a carport.
Rotting, unstable, falling apart. Lynn and her husband decided this carport needed to be replaced. That was 3 long years ago.
It's all bureaucrats and it's all paperwork and it's all rules and regulations. This regulation, that regulation, that regulation. I mean, there must have been about 30 different regulations just on the building permit.
Lynn says a simple at their home in Melbourne's Yarra Ranges has been blocked at every turn by council.
Then we had to do the building permit, more paperwork, and we had to get more paperwork and more paperwork. We had to answer so many different questions.
Yarra Ranges Council insists the soil is too porous to simply replace the existing structure.
They recommended an engineer to come out and draw some footings. When we actually looked at the drawings, there was 8 pylons to go in. Each pylon holds 10 tonne. And then, of course, they have to be attached with steel on the top. And then the concrete goes on top of that.
And how much does all this cost?
So now we've been getting quotes from 13,000, and he's basically just a basic quote. And then one guy quoted 26. We've had a recent quote come through at 25.
Just for the concrete?
Just for the concrete. And that's not pulling the carport down yet. We've got to do that. And then, of course, we've got to put the carport up. So we're probably up in excess of about 30 grand just to put the carport up.
You're not asking for the world here, are you, Lynn?
It's not gold, it's concrete.
Yarra Ranges Council told A Current Affair Lynn's property has not 1, not 2, but 4 protective overlays, including bushfire management, erosion management, significant landscape and environmental significance.
It's hardly a shopping centre car park or anything like that. It's 2 car parking spaces, and the amount of paperwork is extraordinary. Engineering reports, planning, building certificates, building permits, it's all there.
Leading urban planner Bill Kuznachuk reviewed the couple's documents.
The need to reduce red tape is absolutely critical to our process, both planning and building. That doesn't mean a reduction in standards, it means more efficiency in making those decisions.
Lynn's not alone. There's more than 13,000 homes in the Yarra Ranges that are under mounting council overlays after major storms destroyed more than 100 homes and knocked down tens of thousands of trees 4 years ago. So you can see up here, there's some rotting and it's in pretty bad shape, isn't it?
Oh, it's shocking. I mean, that's totally rotten. Especially when it rains, of course, it flows straight through down here.
And what are your concerns?
Well, that's going to collapse, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ongoing ordeal is impacting Lynn's poor health. This is the carport that should have been built 3 years ago.
Yep.
And it's been sitting here.
Yeah, as you can see, the tarp is not doing too well.
It's been wrapped.
Oh, that's an understatement.
And you have to walk past it every day. It's just a reminder of this ongoing saga.
Exactly.
Do you have a message for the council?
But yeah, we just would like it if they turn around and said, yeah, okay, you don't need to do all of that. I'd be happy with that because I really think it's unfair. I mean, because we're not millionaires or anything like that. We just want to get a decent carport set up.
And council says it is happy for Lynn to submit an alternative option, but guess what? More paperwork. Gotta love council, don't you? Up next, comes up. Commuters risking fines and their lives.
So I got like 3 fines, but what I can do?
Someone's going to get killed.
Hungry Jack's new Nashville Jack's Fried Chicken. Thick, crisp, juicy chicken, creamy herb mayo, and a little chili kick. Or try the Nashville Whopper. Saddle up for the Nashville range. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
G'day, I'm Russell Coit. Clearing fallen trees is a part of life in the sticks. Lucky for these show ponies in that flashy new ute, I've come prepared, because there are no shortcuts out here. Except for that one.
Mitsubishi's most capable. Nothing can frighten a Triton.
10-year warranty, it's almost a decade.
With Light and Easy, you're cooking less, eating better and getting great results.
I have lost 102 kilos and I feel fantastic. I feel freer and fitter and just happier.
Live a healthier, better life with Light and Easy.
Chief, the pen is mightier than the sword.
Well, your party plans may be up in the air, but at least your insurance is sorted.
It's good you're with Budget Direct.
Insurance solved with Budget Direct.
At Terry White ChemMart, we're making it easier for you to look after your health. Download our Mighty app to order scripts, get reminders, and earn rewards for you and your family. Terry White ChemMart, dedicated to care.
Harris Scarf Friends mega sale is on now. Save 50% off full price quilts and pillows, 50% off full priced flannelette quilt cover sets and sheets, 40% off full price bras and underwear. Ends Friday, conditions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices.
It's tax time at Officeworks, so claim everything you can. From stationery to tech and anything in between. Everything could be tax deductible. Shop before June 30.
Get ready to ride with end of financial year savings on Polaris off-road vehicles. Right now, save up to $5,000 on the legendary Polaris Ranger, one of Australia's best-selling off-road vehicles. With stock ready to go and a low-rate finance offer available, there's no need to wait. But hurry, these end of financial year deals end June 30 or while stocks last. Visit Polaris dealer today. Polaris, think outside.
St Philip's Christian College returns to the Civic Theatre stage with Footloose the Musical. Get ready for unforgettable hits and non-stop energy that'll have you dancing in your seat. Everybody cut loose with Footloose the Musical.
It's the 40 Winks end of financial year sale. Enjoy up to 50% off mattresses and up to 30% off furniture, plus an extra 20% off selected floor stock in-store only for a limited time. Hurry, sale ends June 30. Terms, conditions and exclusions apply. 40 Winks, serious about sleep.
Join the adventures of your favourite Disney stars from Frozen, Moana, The Little Mermaid, and for the first time, Encanto. Disney on Ice returns to the Newcastle Entertainment Centre from July 3rd. Book now at Ticketek.
Well, good
girls and boys. It's been another very exciting day for our friend Big Dog. Lots of adventure and fun for everyone. But now it's time for Big Dog to say goodnight. Good night, Big Dog. Good night, girls and boys. Sweet dreams.
Tomorrow night, catching a train to work, good luck.
No parking.
Someone's going to get killed.
Commuter chaos in the burbs.
Have to rush to get here.
Rush like crazy.
I missed my train yesterday. I got to work late.
Angry calls for more spots.
And they...
But what I can do?
And we'll have that tomorrow. That's our program. I'm Ali Langdon. Thanks for your company. Enjoy your night.